honestly believe that the reason that people are excited is it's this extraordinary marriage of fashion and culture. Sometimes it's easy to become famous today. It isn't always so easy to become successful.
Anna Wintour didn't just run Vogue, she was Vogue. For more than 30 years, she held the reins of the fashion world with her signature bob, dark sunglasses, and silence sharp enough to make grown designers sweat. She turned unknowns into icons, dictated runway trends before the collections hit the floor, and turned front rows into thrones. She wasn't just an editor, she was a gatekeeper, a ruler. And for some, a quiet storm that never had to raise her voice to control the weather. So when the announcement came that Anna would be stepping down from her role as Chief Content Officer and Global Editorial Director at Condé Nast, it didn't feel like a retirement. It felt like a removal. Software silent, sudden, no farewell tour, no emotional Vogue cover tribute, no final word. Just a vague press release, a few curated headlines, and a woman who had shaped generations of fashion vanished into PR dust. And that silence, that was the first red flag. Because Anna Wintour doesn't do silence, she does strategy. Insiders whispered the signs had been there for months. Fewer appearances at industry dinners, delegating major responsibilities to Condé's younger executives, being quietly left off key planning meetings for digital expansion, and then the growing power vacuum. One former Vogue staffer said, everyone could feel it, something was shifting, but no one wanted to be the one to say it out loud. The fashion world didn't wait for the dust to settle, it moved, fast. New voices stepped forward. Creative leads once frozen out by winter's long shadow suddenly found themselves in meetings with real power. And right at the center of this quiet shift, Gigi Hadid, the golden girl, the supermodel with a last name that opened doors and a face that never left the front row. A woman Anna had once chosen, and arguably created, by placing her on Vogue's most coveted covers and letting her walk through editorial spaces most models would never enter. But now, Gigi wasn't just modeling, she was consulting, designing, hosting fashion competition shows, running her own line, and stepping into spaces that used to be reserved for industry executives, the kind of roles Anna never liked to share. Sources say that Gigi was strategically aligned with Condé's vision for digital reinvention, that she had been advising on how to make Vogue more influencer-fluent, that she had become the favorite of Condé's newer, younger, digital-first team, the same team who, in private, reportedly viewed winter as out of sync with modern audiences. The whispers turned sharper. Was Gigi being positioned as the face of a new era? Had Anna seen the writing on the wall and quietly chosen to exit before she was pushed? And then came the second red flag, net worth rumors. Why did Google suddenly start autofilling Anna Wintour net worth? And does Anna Wintour own Vogue? Why were there unconfirmed reports floating through fashion circles about internal restructuring that would cut her equity share and replace it with a fixed brand ambassadorship? And why, at the exact moment those rumors peaked, did the official Vogue social accounts stop referring to Wintour as chief editor and simply say Anna? It was like the institution was slowly scrubbing her title without saying her name. One fashion PR rep called it a ghost resignation. Another, harsher voice from the inside said, "You don't remove a queen by shouting. You let her slip out the back door and lock it once she's gone." So what really happened? Did Anna walk away, or was she quietly walked out? And where does Gigi fit in all this? That's what we're uncovering next. While the headlines tiptoed around Anna Wintour's exit, the industry already knew where the center of gravity was shifting. Straight toward Gigi Hadid. She was everywhere, and not in the usual supermodel sense. Yes, she was back on covers, back on runways, back in global campaigns. But this wasn't nostalgia. This was something else. Something deeper. Something that smelled like succession. A Condé Nast insider, under condition of anonymity, claimed that Gigi had been quietly tapped by Vogue's younger leadership for something far beyond modeling. Digital consulting, creative direction, algorithm fluency. She understood how to move product and culture at the same time, a skill even Wintour couldn't master in the TikTok era. And Vogue was watching. More importantly, they were using her. Gigi wasn't just a face anymore. She was influence, reach, brand power. And when Condé Nast realized the 2000s weren't going to wait for glossy editorials to catch up, they needed someone who already spoke the language of the future. Anna spoke tradition. Gigi? She was speaking now. So when Anna began losing control over cover decisions, layout planning, and even event curation, many believed it wasn't just time catching up to her. It was Gigi Hadid quietly being positioned as the new muse of the Vogue machine. But Gigi didn't ask for the crown. It was handed to her, strategically, silently, carefully, because nothing inside Vogue happens without control. Even the silence is curated. There were whispers that Wintour had raised concerns about Gigi's rising influence, that she found her too accessible, too commercial, too aligned with youth culture. But those concerns didn't matter, because the audience Vogue was chasing didn't care about legacy. They cared about connection, relatability, influence, and Gigi was all of that, and more. And hey, if you're still watching this and your jaw's halfway to the floor, now's the time. Tap that like button if you feel the shift. Drop a comment if you've seen this kind of power handoff before, quiet, sharp, unstoppable. And of course, subscribe to Ms.CathyKnows, because this isn't just fashion. This is a power war in couture packaging. Now, back to the storm. As Gigi's presence grew, Anna's became quieter. She skipped red carpets, attended fewer fashion weeks. The woman who once closed every Met Gala was now being upstaged by people she used to invite. Some insiders believe that Vogue's digital team even began testing layouts without Wintour's sign-off. That Wintour's staff, once fiercely loyal, started aligning with new leadership, the kind that praised Gigi's new energy and industry accessibility. The old guard was folding, and in its place, a new, highly clickable, fashion-forward future. And whether she meant to or not, Gigi Hadid had become the symbol of that future. Not just a model anymore, a marker of the Wintour era's end. Anna Wintour didn't build an empire just to walk away quietly. Even now, out of the spotlight, out of the title, her fingerprints are still on the walls, on the masthead, on the politics of who gets through Vogue's doors. Because you don't run the most powerful magazine in the world for 30 years without knowing how to leave behind a few locked safes and keys that only you can find. But make no mistake, her exit was not without cost. There are whispers that Anna didn't agree to step aside until she was guaranteed editorial veto rights on her own legacy, that she demanded her name be honored, not erased, that her image, her archive, and her influence would remain protected, even as others took her seat. In other words, she may have left the room, but the walls still echo her voice. And then there's Gigi, now Vogue's unofficial face of the future, adored, visible, respected, but also exposed. Because when you step into the space a legend once occupied, you don't just inherit the crown, you inherit the enemies, the comparisons, the expectations, and the invisible pressure to prove you deserve it. Gigi may be the most liked model of her generation, but in this post-Wintour world, every cover, every campaign, every decision with her name on it will be analysed with sharp teeth. She didn't ask for the throne, but now she has to defend it. Already, rumours have started that she's overreaching, that she's too friendly with TikTok influencers, that she's compromising Vogue's prestige in favour of social numbers. Some say the next misstep won't fall on Condé Nast's leadership, it'll fall on Gigi. That's the curse of being a symbol. You carry more than your own weight. And if Anna taught the industry anything, it's this: fashion doesn't forgive failure, it forgets you. So now, as the dust settles and a new era unfolds, Wintour steps back into the shadows with her legacy intact. Gigi steps forward, crowned but exposed. And Vogue, it holds its breath, because in fashion, power doesn't vanish, it just changes outfits.